What's going on there?
Yeah, a little bit quiet now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maria Corina Machado comes tomorrow to DC or Mar-a-Lago. They're kind of interchangeable at this point. Probably DC. Definitely this week. I think she comes tomorrow, but definitely this week. There was also for some reason, Delcy Rodriguez. There's also a market for her visiting or like meeting with Trump. It also pumped, although I'm not sure why. I didn't see whatever tweets pumped it. But it's not super likely. I think it was at 30 for end of March or
For
something.
which one, sorry?
Uh, there was, I just checked it earlier. It's like Delcy Rodriguez to meet Trump by March 31st. And there was like a big spike, and then it went back down.
Wow.
Mm, yeah, in terms of like fundamentals, nothing happened for now. I'll publish my deep dive later. The reason why I haven't it's done, why I haven't published it is because I want to record like a sort of an audio version for it because they're very long, and I know like yeah, some people read it, but I want to make it a little bit more accessible to people who don't want to read 5,000 words. I
Sure.
get that it's like not the easiest thing to digest, so I want to record it and then you can listen to it, which I think will make it more accessible to people that want to read or listen to it, but not maybe invest an hour just sitting down reading actual stuff.
So any
I think it's very
summary?
interesting
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Huh?
So
Yeah, I
what
can
what
tease a
kind of
bit. Yeah.
positions? Yeah, let me know.
Well, positions, still same thing. Nothing's changed. Like, I'm still on Delcy. I'd be looking to add if it dips back below 50, which I think could rather easily happen. I mean, for now, it's like this in this like uneasy equilibrium, looks like it. Fundamentally, I think is very interesting actually when you read into these things. Like then you learn, what kind of incentives and views people have. So Rubio, he actually needs Venezuela to get to Cuba. So he actually, in my opinion now, he wants regime change in Cuba because he's Cuban and he wants this regime there gone. Through Venezuela, he can get it because they turned off. Trump now said, okay, no more oil from Venezuela to Cuba, and Cuba depends almost entirely on Venezuelan oil, and their economy is already, like completely fucked up. So how long can they last? Like they're not long because the other big source of oil for them is Mexico. And Trump now also has beef with Mexico. So he will tell Mexico the exact same thing. Like, look, sort out your cartels or we'll bomb you. We'll probably bomb you anyway. Plus no more oil to Cuba or tariffs. You know how it goes. And they'll say like, you know what? Okay, fuck Cuba. We don't really care about Cuba. So Cuba is, this is Rubio's agenda. Then you have Machado's agenda. She wants power, but she can't get it because she has no connections in the country. Then you have Delcy's agenda. She wants to, like stay in power. She also like she hates the gringos, but she doesn't hate them so much because actually she was educated in the West and she also grifts in Venezuela. So she's like, she might actually go to exile at some point, but she will also not willingly, give up power. She will try to slow roll this. She will try to deceive Trump and this kind of stuff. And then you have like this other guy in the background who's like the crazy person who hates the gringos. He actually wanted to be the boss. Now he's not the boss. He was actually Chavez's buddy, and then Maduro got the job. Now Delcy got the job, and he's like, this is bullshit, But now he needs to keep quiet, or they will drone strike him. So it's this like very interesting equilibrium, of players. And what I think will happen is for now nothing. I think Delcy, I'll try to get in again on Delcy. I could buy more now, but like I don't like to buy things when they're like in this like when they just go sideways. And around 50 sideways, not sure. I think it could dip again. One headline and it dips.
Yeah, on
But I
Friday.
think she's good.
Yeah.
She'll go higher before she goes lower.
Yeah, on Friday it went up to. I was market making it. Went up to 57. I had bought some Yes shares after our stream last week, in the mid 40s, and went up to
Mm.
59. Sold. I was market making it, so I think I got more Yes a little bit at 58, 57. It is back down to 50 now today, so it is pretty much 50-50. But yeah, I it makes sense. I remember you guys were doing high five on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil where the price. I wrote them down to look back on Friday, but U.S. strike on Mexico here. I'll put back the screen. U.S. strike on Mexico has fallen right back to 3. It was a market I was scared of
Uh-huh.
because I'm market making it for how much money? What is it? $30, $30 a day, and
Uh-huh.
I got filled at pretty much 99 cent no, but it just didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me. I just like why are we striking Mexico? It is for the cartels, makes sense. But you think of a headline, U.S. strike on Mexico, feels like a big deal, right? So that's why it was priced so low. But now we've settled back down at least for the end of the month. So I think your deep dive makes sense. When's it going to come out? End of the week or?
So definitely, no, definitely today. It's done. Like it's
Oh,
written.
okay.
I could publish it now, but because I want to add this, if I add the audio later, then it's like, hey, here's the deep dive, and then 2 days later, you're like, hey, by the way, here's the audio. So I want to just drop it all in one. So,
Good.
but I need to record. It's probably like an hour of reading, and then I need to touch it up a bit. So it'll take maybe 2-3 hours to get it done.
So which U.S. I know you mentioned the case for every strike on every Latin country, but which countries make sense for the U.S. to strike and which ones not?